Many of you know what the Four Horsemen is. The Four Horsemen is this right here. Drafting, well, you don't have to draft all of them on one team. I don't even know if you can, but we're going to try here tonight. The Four Horsemen being unlocked live on the show. Can we draft all four on one team in Best Ball Mania? Yeah, you know, we're going to have an extra player. We're certainly going to potentially be drafting a bench player, rotational player to go in our flex before we get our lineup filled. But the Four Horsemen will be unlocked tonight. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever
News breaks. We have drafted Ashton Jeanty, Rashee Rice, because we need a wide receiver, and Hampton going... It would be too crazy to go Hampton in round 2. We'd have more of a chance of getting it done, but we wouldn't be surrounding it with the proper talent. But we're going to try and grab the Four Horsemen here in this draft right here. So this is a little bit of a reach on Hampton, but it needs to be done at this point. We've now executed upon 2 of the Horsemen already in this draft. This is a Best Ball Mania. We've got 1 and 2 nailed down. A little bit of a reach, but we will have to potentially go. We'll have to see how the ADPs look. 60 overall is where Harvey's going. We could technically get him at 57. Hendy is going at 64. We can technically, we can get him at ADP at 64. The question is, vote in the chat. Do we go early Harvey or say we can't, we won't? We'll take Travis Hunter here. We'll push our luck and try and get the Four Horsemen going balls to the wall at ADP versus reaching. Vote in the chat. Are we going Hunter here? Hunter, or do we push our luck on Harvey? Harvey, again, his ADP is 60 overall. What are we doing here? Vote. Hunter, Harvey, reach to get your guys. I'm going to try and push it here. We're at least going to get 3 of the Horsemen. I'm going to regret if they get snagged. I'm going to regret it. I'm going to be so mad at myself. But let's try and do this the right way and still land it. You know, I always tell you guys, make sure you don't reach and ruin your opportunities. So I'm trying to walk the walk, you know, and talk the talk here versus. But there is a fun exercise to be performed on my dime to see if things work. So understand the difference of me, the teacher, going out there and spending my hard-earned cash money and blowing it and still pulling it off. So just understand that I don't condone that behavior, but we're going to go ahead and actually take this thing the distance. So we got a Marion Hampton Hunter. This is 2 of the 4 HHH and Associates, and also the
in a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
It's Triple H and Associates, but also we have our intern down at the bottom, Hampton, who's gonna hopefully crack this. Man, I'm hoping we get it. Look at all the wide receivers flying off the board. Harvey's about 13 down, so we'll see if we can pull this off. I don't know if we'll be able to. All right, here we go. So look at all these wide receivers flying off the board. It's probably good we went Hunter. I mean, we could have went like Harvey and then Debo. You know, if we don't get Hendy, Hendy's going to be the one we push it. If we would have went Harvey, we would have got Hendy here, no question, and then maybe Debo. So we'll see if we end up pulling it off here. We've got Harvey, you can see right there. I'll cue him. He's right there. Kenneth Walker. This is close. This is close. I mean, we could sidetrack and go Joe Burrow. Or go Hendy. He's there. He's there. He's there. RJ Harvey, we got him. We got him. We're so close. We're so close.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
We're so close to the 4 horsemen. Check, check, check. And Hunter. I haven't been this nervous since I ate bad deviled eggs and then went back to the box to check the expiration date. And, it was a whole drive home. We're sitting here, Flowers. We got 3 picks away. Henderson could make it. If he doesn't, Joe Burrow's there. I'm not that mad if we land Joe Burrow here at 64 overall. But this guy right here has got 3 RBs. I think we made it. I think we did it. It was the right call. Drafting Hunter was the right call. There's no way this guy's taking another RB. There's no way. He's not. Who's he getting? Who's he got? Chris Olave.
Let him cook.
We did it. Hendy, Harvey, Hampton, Jeanty, with Travis Hunter and Rashee Rice and Mahomes on the way.
Let him cook.
Unbelievable. I mean, guys, we got the 4 H's. We got the 4 H's.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
I can't believe this. And what's so crazy is this is the only time I jumped into a live stream and I said, please give me a pick that can get me Jeanty. At least, so I can try and attempt this. And I got 9. I went live. One stab, and we did it live. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
This might be one of the best live streams we've ever had. I mean, to nail this on the first try that we've ever tried it, to get the 4 horsemen on the first go, to get Travis Hunter as well, the 5th horseman. I mean, this is crazy. You have to be an RB to be a horseman, but we'll see if we get Mahomey as well down here. If not, Bo Nix will suffice. This is such a good team. Igor says you don't need to draft more running backs. You let me be the judge of that, Igor. You let me be the judge of that. I'm not going to leave it at 4, bro. We've got plenty of work to do. We got Jaden Blue and all kinds of the boys that need to be in the stable. We got potentially a Mahomey Debo right here as everybody, and Debo's overweight. It's June 25th. Debo's overweight. Mahomes is there.
Let him cook.
Jeez, man. We're cooking. We're just cooking. All right. Judkins is nice here. I'll cue him, but I'm probably not going to take him. Brandon Ayuk. Does this guy know he's not going to play for like half a year? We got Ibuka available, though. Ibuka is there. Did Debo already go? Oh, Debo already got taken in the 6th round there. Okay. We got Ronald on the phone. Ronald, this is not Ron Navy, but Ronald, you were live, young man. Or whoever you are.
Oh, wait. I don't think No, this isn't Ronald.
Well, yeah, he had to check. Am I Ronald? I'm not Ronald. Oh, no, I'm not Ronald. Go ahead. I mean, it says Ronald, but 360. What can I do for you?
Yeah, so I messaged you the other day, and I'm still struggling with this trade that I've been dealing with here for a few weeks now.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Kelsey or Egbuka? This one's tough. We need another wide receiver. I'm going to go Buka. Maybe Kelsey falls. Probably does not. He's about 13 picks down, but you never know. We're going to go Buka. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay, so he wants Tet McMillan, Chris Olave in a first, and then I get Brees Hall and Emeka Buka. How you feeling about that?
Hall and Buka. So we're looking at T-Mac, Olave, and a first. You know about what the first is going to look like early?
It's pretty early for me to say. I mean, I'm pretty solid at wide receiver with Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison, and then I got Ashton Jeanty, Kenneth Walker at running back.
It's your pick, okay. Well, I would say give me the Hall Buka side by I don't want to say by a country mile, but I don't think I'd even hesitate. I barely hesitate. The only reason I'd hesitate is just where that first rounder is. That can look very different later, but give me Buka, give me Hall. That's a smash. If you guaranteed me as to 1.1 or something, then we got to try and like envision a Marion Hampton type player at least. Maybe there's not a Jeanty, but there might be an Marion Hampton in that 20 if it's a 26 first rounder. So, but the fact that you're like, no, my team's pretty good and it's your pick and it's not somebody else's pick, I'm fine with it, bro. I'm fine.
So you think Brees is that much better? Is going to be that much better than T-Mac?
I think so, but
yeah,
nothing's for sure, bro. The only thing for sure is
I know Ibuka is definitely way over Chris Olave.
Yeah. The only thing for sure is that we got a killer team here tonight. That's the only thing that's for sure. Did Kelsey get taken? Kelsey, yeah, he got taken. That's right. All right, bro. Anything else? Yeah, smash that trade.
No.
Chat.
All right, thanks.
Chat, anybody else disagree? Let's see what the chat says, but appreciate you, Ronald. What's your name, bro? You're not Ronald. Shane, not Ronald. Not Ronald. Thanks for calling in, bro. Later. All right. On the clock here in a second, we got Keon Coleman. We got Justin Fields. No, thank you. We've got Mark Andrews, Cam Scattaboo. We've got Zach Charbonnet. We've got Luther Burden, Dak Prescott. We've got Hunter and Travis Hunter and Rashee Rice, right? So we're cooking there. Wide receivers, I don't know if I like any. Keon Coleman's not bad. Keon Coleman or Andrews. I think I'm going to trust our boy Keon Coleman here. Give us an extra wide receiver. I mean, we're not super duper light at wide receiver, but we have like a creative wide receiver room that some would look at as a potential, risky wide receiver room. But our running back stable is monstrous. And yes, you only start 2 RBs in a flex, and our flex will probably be RB every week. But we've got this thing looking smooth. And while I would love to have had Kelsey, Egbuka gives us just a lot more security at that position. Okay, Sharps, Keon, Ingram, Coleman. We could still go Sharps here. I'm not scared going Charbonnet here. We've got Dak, we got Jonu. Tight ends, I think we'll be okay all the way down to... I'm not going to say it here in case I'm going to get sniped. But I'm going to draft a player that I think I'm going to put on the Moonman list. That you guys are going to be excited about. And I'll announce it when I pick them. But it'll be just a little bit before we take them. I don't need to take them right here. And I don't see anybody. I like Tyler Warren a little bit. I don't see anybody here that we need to grab. I like Jaden Blue a lot. Benson's nice. What's our bye week situation at RB? 8, 12, 12, 14. Wide receivers are 10, 8, 9, 7. We're golden. We're golden. I usually don't check my bye weeks till I'm about lineup filled. And then I start looking at it because it's not something that should influence you at all as you're building your lineup. Let's go. I'm going to go to my queue. Charbonnet got taken. This is a little early, but I don't want to time out. Did Sharps get taken? Yeah, Sharps got taken. I think we got some snipers in here because he was a little early. But we still got. I love Tootin. I'm fine with Bashal Tootin. Such a sleeper. And right now we've got at RB we have 5 RBs, 1, 2, and he's a bye week 8. So I got 2 8s, I got 2 12s, I got a 14. We're pretty good on bye weeks because during bye week 8 we have 14, 12, and 12. During bye week 12 we got 14, 8, and 8. We're pretty good there. I think we'll be fine. Wide receiver, we're 10, 8, 9, 7. Not a single wide receiver shares bye weeks. Let me put my team on screen. This is just a straight fire squad. Just unbelievable. The 4 horsemen. I honestly didn't think there was a great chance we'd pull it off tonight on the first attempt to it. I just didn't think. I not only do you have to have the right draft slot, which I wasn't even sure that 9 was perfect enough to get Jeanty. I'm like, I could get sniped on him. He's gone earlier than that. I didn't know what draft slot I wanted, to be honest. I didn't know what would work. I didn't dream that we could pull this off on the first go and get Travis Hunter. I mean, that was crazy. That was a big risk, but it was one that paid off. So far, this Best Ball Mania team, Mahomes, Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, Tootin, Rice, Hunter, Egbuka, Keon Coleman. I like it. Running backs are out of this world. Travis, you're live.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
That was like clockwork. You were able to get those guys.
Mm-hmm. Mark says you picked Tootin over Smith. I don't even know what you're talking about. You Brashard Smith, who we love, that's so far down the draft board. Like, yeah, bro. Is that who you're? Yeah. What are you talking about? Okay, here we go. Hold on one second, Travis. Let me make this pick real quick. Yeah. Quarterbacks are kind of flying.
Yeah, I was going to say you only have 1 QB so far.
Yeah, 146. What are we at? 146. Probably need to grab one coming up here. I'll grab Penix Jr. for now. He's by week 5. Mahomes, I believe, is 10. And so this next pick, I'm gonna take my guy here. I don't want to get sniped, so I'm gonna take the next Moonman candidate right here. I don't even know if I have a graphic prepared for him, so we might not need. We might be celebrating this later. Let me just check real quick. I gotta have him here somewhere. Yes, I do. Okay. Here we go. Drum roll. Let me scroll down. On the clock. A wee bit early. Not too bad. I mean, he's the 3rd player in his position. I'm going to go with a top maybe 6 tight end season. Moonman extraordinaire, Isaiah Likely.
Nice.
Welcome.
Moonman, nice. Got on the list.
Welcome.
The Moonmen, dropping loads in outer space.
We've been waiting for this for a while.
Space Moon 6.
And if I remember correctly, Likely was on either year 1 of the Moonman list or year 2. I kind of forget. And it never really happened.
Yeah.
But it's going to this year. And everybody should be on board. This is the biggest breakout tight end.
Yeah, Erin will like that. She's always been a big Likely fan.
And Harbaugh has said that he wants to make him a Pro Bowler this year. Like, it's going to happen. He is a wide receiver. Even if Andrews is on the field, they're going to throw the hell out of the ball to this guy. And I don't think Andrews stays healthy. And I've been stacking the two all year long. We've been going Andrews and Likely, but I'm almost ready to just let Andrews go. Mark, what are you doing, Mark? You keep saying things like you picked Tootin over Smith. Brashard Smith goes.
John New Smith. It's John New
Smith. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I do. Mark, you act like your opinion's the only thing that makes the world turn. He says, you really think Tootin and Likely are a better duo than Spears and Jonu? Bro, it's like, come on, man.
No, he doesn't.
Stop acting like there aren't different opinions on this earth, my boy. Off with you. All right, here we go.
Not to mention how many drafts do you know?
Here we go. Let's see if I love when people ask a questionable, like it's very debatable. Like, you really think Tucker Kraft's better than Dallas Goedert, or Goddard's better? Like, I mean, you could like either one of those guys. All right, let's see. Do I go McMillan here? I'm going to cuff McMillan to Egbuka.
Yeah.
And then I've got kind of a favorite of mine that I'm going to grab here in a second. A little bit early. No, never mind. It's not early at all. I better hope he falls to me, actually. I'm a big advocate of this approach that I'm about to drop here. Holiday. What are you saying, Marshall? Task optimization? What are you saying? No advice for this game. Bro, stop talking about whatever you're talking about in here. This is a football channel. What are you saying? Enough of that conversation.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Almost on the clock. Your boy's super close to pulling off, I think, a key component of this build. Receivers are Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter, Egbuka with McMillan, Keon Coleman. I think it's a really good wide receiver room. And then, of course, Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, Tootin, Mahomes, Penix Jr., and now Cam Ward. So I'm going Cam Ward by week 10, Mahomes by week 10, Penix Jr. by week 5. I've got an amazing quarterback room.
Yeah, I like that trio.
All right, now I got to decide what to do next. I got anybody else on the phone line?
All your wide receiver 5 weeks are good.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody that shared a bye week until I just took a cuff. Trade worthy, JMO, and a 26 first for Hunter and Dynasty. That's a lot, bro. I love Hunter, but some would argue Worthy's ranked higher. So, like, you're giving away. It's not that I don't think it could work out and that I don't want Hunter over all of those guys individually, or even any two of them, or the player you get with the first rounder. But you're paying $20 for a $10 item, and it doesn't matter that the item will eventually be worth $50, and we all know that. You need to be smart with how you're spending and allocating the resources, or you end up running dry when you keep chasing like that. And overpaying but delivering, overpaying but getting it delivered, you can't do that game. Because injuries happen, and then what do you have? Nothing. You gave away everything. You can't survive. You got to anticipate the worst. What if Hunter doesn't work out and you give up Worthy, JMO, and a first rounder? This is a case of you are chasing the bold prediction that you're hearing on this channel over and over too late. And you're trying to use a league that the ship has sailed. You're trying to use this league to get in on it, and you're going to end up ruining the team. So you're giving up way too much. But would you
do it if it was a second rounder instead of a first rounder?
So Worthy and JMO for Hunter. Even that too is still a lot fair market value wise. Would I rather have Hunter? Yes, but do I think I need to do that? I don't think so. I think that's like, again, you're buying, even though you know that the $10 item is going to be worth 50, you're buying it for $20. You don't need to. You got to be smart with it. You can't, just because you like someone doesn't mean you overpay to the moon.
Yeah.
The fair market value of JMO is okay, hold on. Yeah, wide receivers are good. We're gonna go with the sleeper here, just because he's about 6 players down on his position, Dante Thornton, but he was I was timing out, and he's still going kind of all over the map, so I don't mind taking him early as I regroup for this next pick, because I was gonna time out. Do I go Gesicki? Likely's bye week is 7. Do I go Gesicki? Oh, he just went. Otten bye week 9. Mason Taylor bye week 9. Trevion Sanders bye week 14. Ferguson 8. I don't mind. Do you think Otten's going to be good this year?
I'm kind of torn. Will he get enough targets? That's my
maybe. Now, if he does, and let's say Igbokwe does bad, then maybe Otten does good. I don't know. Maybe I'll mix that up. I got Likely already, so I'm going to go Otten. I got Igbokwe and McMillan. So I feel like I'm getting a lot of Baker production.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's actually a good move.
Because if maybe Igbokwe does bad, then Otten might do good.
Yep.
Good second player. All right, so I need one more tight end, because I always roll with 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends whenever possible. So that will allow me to have... Now, wide receiver, am I good at wide receiver? I've got 2 by week 8, 2 by week 9, a 7, and a 10. And an 8. Wait, no, sorry. 2, 8, 2, 9, a 7, a 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. So, I mean, I'm good. By week 9, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 players. By week, I mean, I've got a lot. And the receivers are Rice, Hunter, Igbokwe, Keon Coleman, Jalen McMillan, and Thornton. Or do I grab one more RB? Because I got Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, Tootin. And I do have Hampton and Harvey sharing the bye week 12, and Tootin and Jeanty sharing the bye week 8. I mean, I still got plenty of coverage, but they are rookies. You never know.
I think you can go either way.
Yeah.
Whichever player you like. I think you're pretty set at both.
Manor, Jalen Royals, or Dylan Sampson, Brashard Smith, Taj Brooks, Krosky Merritt. Chat, what do you like? I'm going to take a tight end here or one of these guys. Do you like Brashard Smith? This is for the next pick. Brashard Smith, Krosky Merritt, Dylan Sampson, Royals, Tesla, or Manor to go with Cam Ward. Vote in the chat, please. And then I have bye week 7 and 9 at tight end. Ferguson's 8. I'm going to swing big with Fannin. So Otten, Fannin, and Likely. Kind of a risky tight end room, but very, very high upside. Guys, what do you like for that player? What do you like, Travis?
If Okonkwo made it to you, I was going to tell you to take him. We went right before you. I mean, never hurts to pair someone with Ward, or if you want to go off board, if your gut's telling you to go off board, grab whoever you like.
Royals, we got 2 Samson votes. We got 3 Samson votes. Wow. Am I good at wide receiver, though? I don't want to screw this up. I'm so good at running back. I mean, Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, Tootin. But Tootin is a wild card to where I could only have 4 backs. Like, you know, it's not like he's guaranteed anything yet.
Yeah, I guess they're rookie backs. So, you know, while we're really confident, still rookies.
I'll go Burchard Smith then, because
Like
Sampson got taken. So I think that's good. I think that was good logic there at the end. Because number 1, I've got Agbuka and McMillan cuffed, so I'm almost guaranteed a player all year long there. So I'm good. And then, you know, when you think about how it's very deep, like even though I have a deep running back stable, there is that rookie aspect where it's like, okay, you know, rookies can get hurt. They can hit rookie walls. There's a lot of things. And Tootin may or may not be getting reps all year. We don't really know how it's going to play out. So I almost have to treat it like I had 4 backs with a big, explosive, you know, sleeping giant in Tootin. But, all right, this team looks pretty good. I can't believe we pulled it off. I'm not saying it's the best team I've ever drafted. It's just the most exciting to try and plot this team out in the way that I did it, impromptu style, without any preparation whatsoever, just going live on it. And for anybody who wants to do a draft like that, Underdog promo code Smitty. Here's the link right here. Promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. The minimum is only $10. So, I mean, this team is pretty good.
What do you think of Monty this year? Mark was asking.
I mean, I think he's a decent third. I mean, probably more than a decent third running back in a pretty darn good flex. No relevance to Gibbs, obviously, even though people want it to matter. Like if Gibbs ever went down, Monty would see more work. Just like Gibbs sees a little bit more work, but Gibbs is a top 3 running back no matter what. So here's the squad: Mahomes, Penix Jr., Cam Ward, Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, the 4 horsemen. Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, and did that by way of drafting. Let me scroll up on this and show everyone. Did that via drafting the 9 spot. Jeanty in the 9 spot. Rashee Rice, which I was so tempted twice to reach to get the 4 horsemen, but I said, let's do it proper. I got Rice. I thought this could be where it just jostles it around just enough to where I miss everybody. But I got Rashee Rice, and I'm like, I could get Mahomes on top of that. I'm going to love this team if I can do it. Hampton, and then on the clock, we're voting in the chat. Do we go Hunter or do we just say reach on Harvey to get the 4 horsemen? Went Hunter, worked out, barely got Hendy at 64 at his exact ADP. Got Harvey a touch early. I think his ADP was about 59 or 60. So it worked out. So 4 horsemen, Jeanty in the 3rd, Hampton in the 5th round, Harvey in the 6th round, Hendy. Still got Mahomes, still got Agbuka, still got Hunter. Amazing looking squad.
I love it. It's all rookie running back room.
Yeah. Great. Look at this squad. Now, the receivers, I think the average person might... Yeah, this is the 4 horsemen and... The 4 horsemen and Travis Hunter. This is the Triple H and Associates plus the... What do we call Hampton again? He's the junior associate.
The junior associate? Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to buy a partnership. He's trying to get into the partnership. He's trying to be a partner. But we landed all of the quadruple H
in a jam. Call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
And so the 4 horsemen plus Hunter is really man. That's crazy. So, but the Triple H doesn't include Jeanty, so
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
That's crazy. All right, what else you got, Travis? Besides,
That's awesome.
yeah,
I love
it looks good.
love that QB room you got too. I think that could be huge.
Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Hendy, Tootin, Richard Smith, all rookies. I love rookies. Everyone knows that about me. But I like the right rookies. I don't like all rookies. I love rookies. Ward, rookie. Penix Jr., sophomore. Mahomes, stud. Likely breakout candidate and a new addition to the Moonmen.
The Moonmen, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
The new addition to the Moonmen. Rice, Hunter, Agbuka, Keon Coleman, McMillan, Thornton. Do we have... Is Rice a Mars man?
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Yeah.
Mars men.
Good looking team. All right, dial into the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Man, this is crazy. I'm going to have to rename this one for sure. I'll put a bunch of horses in the title. On Underdog, you can click the little info button at the top, and then it'll have the name, and you just hit the little pencil. And so what I do is I put like a little TV emoji, which represents it as a live stream that I drafted it on. And then I put BBM for Best Ball Mania. And then I'm going to put just a bunch of, as many horses as it'll let me enter. So we'll count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay, I'll take it. 8 horses. $2 million to first place. This might be the pizza party team. This might get us to the pizza party. The $2 million pizza party. All right. Travis, what else you got?
I meant to ask you last week if, maybe I just missed it, if you gave your opinion on what Kyle Williams was saying about when they were just talking about practice, about going up against Christian Gonzalez and his whole mindset. He was saying, my mindset is don't drop the money. Every time a ball is there, it's a bag of money.
Yeah.
I like the confidence. But.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make of it, but I think it doesn't sound bad. Did he say it in a weird way? Did you hear the verbal?
No, he was just kind of matter of fact. Yeah, he wasn't. It didn't seem like he was trying to make it.
Are people ripping on him for it? Like making fun of him? Like he's like diva or something?
You heard like a few people saying like, oh, he's getting too cocky or something, or all he cares about is him. But it didn't really go that far.
No, I mean, if someone said, how do you make sure you catch every football? And I said, well, I just imagine that it's a bag of cash. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, he is trying to get a payday in his next contract, so that's fine. I like him a lot. I think Kyle Williams is a nice player. Very, very good upside. Drake May, and keep in mind, we had this discussion the other day, and I don't know if Drake May is a wide receiver maker. Is he a kingmaker at the position? I'm not saying I know that. No one knows that. We have no clue yet. But we just talked about last night how Aaron Rodgers turned Jordy Nelson into Jordy Nelson. Donald, all these wide receivers. Devontae Adams into Devontae Adams. Even when he was left with nothing, he took Christian Watson, started to make us think Christian Watson was unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers can do that. So maybe Drake May, who I believe could be a quarterback that can make someone into a star that might not necessarily be a star. And no one's saying Adams, wouldn't have been a star in his own right, but Adams certainly wouldn't be at the exact same level he'd be at without Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers made, no matter what, without fail, somebody into a top 7 wide receiver. That's not the Green Bay Packers doing a great job. That's Aaron Rodgers. They did a good job, but that wasn't all Green Bay. That's a ridiculous thing to think. Oh, they're just so good at finding wide receivers that they don't have to. They're just the only team that doesn't need to draft them in round 1. Like Aaron Rodgers was a big reason.
Yeah, it took them all a couple of years to really get going, which I know receivers used to get brought along slower anyways. But
yeah.
Every single one took 2 to 3 years to become who they were with Rodgers.
Yeah. Mark, no offense, but all your questions are about, like, it's almost like you're interviewing me. Like, Smitty, can I take a look at last year's Moonman list? Smitty, why would you like, Mark, I don't have time for that. We're about winning for the now. We went over the Moonman list last night, the very first one we ever had, and it was extra impressive. It was unbelievable, but we're not the most boring form of conversation, as Tony Soprano said, is remember when. I appreciate you, but everything, it's like you're trying to interview me so that you can decide if you want to watch this channel. I'm not here to interview. But I appreciate you, Mark. I want you to stay. I'm not mad at you. This is my resting face. This is how I normally talk. I'm just letting you know that all your questions are about, can you show me this? Why would you say that? Like, I get it. I understand. Just feel like everything I'm reading. Mark, do you need my blood type? We got a phone caller here, I think. I added them. 803. You're live. What can I do for you? Keep the show turned down in the background. Can you turn the show down in the background? Yeah, what's up? What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, man? My name is Jay, and I'm calling from Atlanta.
What's up? You're
I
live.
just wanted to know, what do you think about James Conner this year? I don't see you drafting him a lot, but I feel like he's like the only veteran out of a lot of the young running backs that I kind of just trust due to his metrics. They paid him, and I still feel like he's in a good situation regardless of him being a little injury prone.
Yeah, I never draft him. It's not that I don't agree that there's a world where James Conner hangs on for yet another year. But yet, last year was really his only year where he stayed healthy, and he's a year older now. So I think the recipe is just not there for a duplication of that. Not to mention, Benson started to get more and more work, and it was pretty damn impressive once he got going. He was really sluggish in the beginning. It was like he didn't know how to cut. He wasn't decisive. It was like, what are you doing? I was very disappointed in the way Benson played in the first few weeks, and that's why he didn't grab hold of more work. But Conner, Ziggy, Volume 10. Ziggy, how old is James Conner?
James Conner is 30 years old and was born in May 1995.
May. So 30. I mean, the odds of a 30-year-old running back during his 38, like he turns 30 before the season begins, playing well is not very good odds, especially when they have an injury-prone label attached to them. Now, I will say that the hold your breath year is what we call 28, where it's like you can plug your nose. It's like taking bad medicine and hope that everything goes well. And it can happen. 28 can happen. 29 is literally where it's not likely. And it just, even if Henry can't even be included in this. Like even Kamara. Ziggy, how old is Alvin Kamara?
Alvin Kamara is 29 years old and was born July 25th.
Turning 30 years old entering this season. And Kamara did have some moments last year, but it definitely felt like he fell off. Ziggy, how old is Joe Mixon? Ziggy, how old is Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon is 28 years old and was born July 24th.
So he's turning 29 as well, and Mixon fell off in 28. Like he had an amazing season, by the way. That's why it's a hold your breath season. You can literally like bust loose for 10 weeks like Mixon did during your 28-year-old season, but turning 28, turning 29 is so scary. That's where running backs just fall at the face of the earth. So Conner, 30 years old, his expiration date is already passed, and you can hope for the best, and there is a chance for it. I mean, there's always anomalies, but I just wouldn't bet on him. I wouldn't bet on him being the one guy with his injury history that stays healthy when they drafted this young, exciting Benson. But you know what you just do is grab them both as long as Connor's ADP remains reasonable, and I think it does. Let me see what it's at right now. His ADP ain't that bad. So if you believe in him, don't let me. I'm not like super against him. I'm just not liking all these red flags. But Connor, it's not like he's going high, bro. He's going 64. But the question I'd ask you is, at that territory, you're talking about Trey Henderson being there at 64 as well. So do I take Trey Henderson at 64? You know, do I take Hendy or do I take Connor? I'm taking Hendy 100 times out of 100. I don't even want to mix it up. I'll just grab Benson anyway. Monty, I take Monty over Connor. That's arguable, though. That's arguable. Wow, did you say wow?
I did.
Well, I mean, why? It's not like it's that crazy. I mean, Monty produces, 12 touchdowns last year, missing games, 13 the year prior. I mean, he's pretty steady Eddie. Connor did have 1094 and 8, 1040 and 7. They're pretty, you could easily compare them. You got a 1,000-yard rusher with one. You got one that gets you 900, but like double-digit touchdowns. I don't know how it's a wow moment. But I would say Monty for me. Hendy 1,000 times out of 1,000 for me. RJ Harvey's one spot above them. RJ Harvey. Take RJ Harvey all day. Pacheco's right below.
Like crazy.
Quinshon Judkins is below Connor. You taking Connor over Quinshon Judkins? I wouldn't. I'd take Judkins all day long. So I'm just saying, it's not that I don't like him. It's not that I don't see a world where you could just cuff him to Benson and be okay. But the ADP data doesn't allow me to ever draft him, unfortunately.
I understand that. And thank you for clarifying, and I appreciate it. The only person I think I'm iffy on, and clearly with the wow, is Monty, because man, I do not like their O-line situation between the tackles this year. I feel like Gibbs would be fine because A, he's just a bona fide running back, and B, they can scheme with him because of his ability. But Monty, he tends to get nicked up too. Not crazy like James Conner, but he gets nicked up, little bang up injuries. But also, they're about to be rough between the tackles this year.
Well, I didn't say wow. I didn't say wow to you. I didn't say wow to you. You said wow to me. I think that you could easily call them equals. I'm just saying, when you said wow, like as if you couldn't make that comparison, I told you they look pretty close. One's got Connor gets more yards, Monty gets more touchdowns. It's very even. So my I didn't say wow. So I'm totally fine with Connor over Monty if that's what you want to do. Just cuff him to Benson, you'll be okay. But I just think that Monty's in a pretty good spot. He's going to probably get 10 TDs. I would say count on 10 TDs. Anytime you can get 10 TDs, especially in best ball, that becomes very handy for optimal scoring. And if you're not talking best ball, which we talk a lot of non-best ball here, I don't want people to think this is only a best ball channel. It's not. No. But I think that, you could go either way. Personally, I'm gonna go Monty, but I understand. And I don't even draft a lot of Monty. Honestly, I don't draft either one. I just give me Harvey, give me Hendy, give me Judkins. I want the rookie. I don't want either one.
And I will say,
Connor,
as somebody who I ended up I ended up going heavy running back in one of my leagues that I won last year, and Monty ended up being my RB3, and my wide receivers sucked. But because, like you said, he was scoring all those touchdowns, he saved me. Like, he literally was the flex spot that just delivered almost every week until he got injured. And then some of my wide receivers that weren't that good stepped up. But I'm iffy on him this year. And again, trust, I definitely know, I know you're saying it for the audience, but most of the time I tuned in last year, it was for, like, standard league. This is my first time really, really checking in for the off season. So, and this is my first time drafting best ball.
Well,
I've done 20 best ball drafts already.
Yeah.
Just because of your show, honestly.
I appreciate that. And honestly, I want to do a better job of making sure people know that I don't mean this the wrong way toward best ball, but best ball is not on my mind. I know it feels like it is because we're drafting, but this is the place that we draft. It's honestly the best place to draft, even if it wasn't the, exclusively where I go. It's a exclusive sponsor of the channel. But there's a reason it's an exclusive sponsor. There's a reason I'm not going out and trying to find anyone else. I only want to be at Underdog. It's unbelievable. It's the best place to draft. But doesn't mean that I'm all about best ball, especially during the year. And not to mention, the only real difference, and there is a little difference, is that wide receiver values in rounds 1, 2, and kind of 3 are a little higher in best ball than in non-best ball. And as long as you can kind of chew gum and walk at the same time, you can balance the difference of that. It's kind of nothing really necessarily has to seem crazy or, oh, I can't speak this language because there's best ball involved. And I try my best not to talk about best ball during the 8 p.m. show, during all the other non-graveyard shows, and I'll do a better job of that. Not to say I'm going to ignore it, but just make sure if I say something about best ball, I cover non-best ball as well in that statement or something. I'll try and do a much better job of that. But the ADP data is so accurate. This ADP data on best ball, even for non-best ball players, is more accurate than mock draft data in your own format. Because mock draft data has nobody drafting. It's a ghost town. And it's bad data from the jump. And on top of that, you have people that join in and draft for 4 or 5 rounds and then leave. And then it counts. It's not a computer drafted team half the time. And so ends up being computer taken over. And more data upon more data upon more data of bad data gets piled on. And the ADP data is bunk. So for me, it's best ball data. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit wide receiver skewed. It's so much more accurate. It's paid people. They're paying for entry fees, and they're not going to leave the draft. So it's going to be to the very end, accurate data. And you just got to be able to balance it a little bit in your mind and say, okay, Rashee Rice is going at 22 overall in best ball. That probably means 25, 26, 27, 28 in non-best ball. Getting Kyron Williams at 3.5 in best ball because of those wide receivers being shoved into round 2 probably means like the turn pick at 2-3. I could get Kyron sometimes.
Oh yeah, best ball is definitely the way to draft. If you're gonna call yourself quote unquote mock drafting, yeah, you gotta go best ball. Just because again, like you said, you're drafting real people.
Yeah,
real people.
The way I look at it too is, I mean, a mock draft. I know people love mock drafting, and I know I don't mock draft anymore, and people don't like that. But you got to remember that that's only helping the 11 people that are in there drafting with me. The people watching the mock draft are the people, no offense, that I'm more concerned about because that's the greater number. And so while I love my people that are in there drafting in a draft, and it's the same people, they race in there, they're click happy, and it's the same 11 people every time too because everybody else trying to get in. And then what happens is somebody screws it up or there's no money on the line, so they reach like crazy. And then it's just a stupid, bad mock draft. It doesn't help anybody. Then the people that watch my channel are like, oh, this guy's got stupid mock drafts. I'm going to leave. So mock drafting doesn't do anything. That's why I don't do it anymore. If I'm going to mock draft, I'll just mock it up myself and pull up this board and say, this is the best pick in every round. This is how I would draft. That's a better mock scenario for people. And I do that all the time too. So.
No doubt. Well, yeah, that's all I had, man. I ain't really having much to say. All I know is,
all right, man,
I'm drafting like crazy on best ball because I'm football hungry, and I'm looking forward to the regular season because that's where you caught my attention from.
Yeah, well, get ready because this year's going to be. I usually say this, and I don't mean this to disrespect my in-season content because I still think we're better than everybody. That's my opinion, but we're better than everybody on in-season content. I feel like I go live more than anybody on the planet, and then that's just my belief. But this year I'm going to make the in-season content rival the off-season in terms of like, wow, I love when we do that. I'm going to be uploading videos on top of all the live streams. I go live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I go live whenever big news breaks. I go live at midnight Eastern, and I'm going to be uploading a whole bunch. So there's almost too much content to watch. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
Rock out. You're live. Rock out.
Can I give you my team?
Yeah, go ahead, rock
out. Quarterback, Mahomes, Penix, Ward, running back, Hubbard, Junkins, Scatterboo, Tuden, Sampson, Merritt, wide receiver, JJ, Rice, Hunter, Mbuka, Kyle Williams, Michael Wilson, tight end, McBride, Pitts, and Fannin.
Nice. Nice job, my boy. What did you think of the four horsemen draft that we did tonight?
Yeah, you did a good job. Pretty good.
I can't believe we did it within the confines of good ADP data. I can't believe that I went Hunter.
Yeah, with the Hunter.
That was crazy.
Hey,
and I could.
Smitty,
Yeah.
what are you thinking about Ridley with Cam Ward?
Yeah. I mean, Cam Ward's growing on me so fast. He's a Moonman or...
The Moonman.
Yeah. Moonman.
Dropping loads in outer space.
I love Cam Ward right now. He looks so good. He looks so good. The two players growing the fastest, or the couple players growing the fastest on me right now, Cam Ward, Thornton, and who was the guy weird? I mean, look, I mean, it's endless. I don't know. It's endless. There's so many players that Harvey's growing more on me every single day too. But also, you're going to hear a lot of Hampton talk in the next couple of weeks. Just a little FYI. He's still a remarkable player, and this entire four horsemen running back stable, they're all going to be infiltrating the top 10 to 12 running backs going forward. Maybe one of them doesn't work out or gets injured, or I'm not saying I can predict the future on all of that part, the unknown stuff of a young rookie getting hurt or something. But all four of these guys have the capability of infiltrating the top 10 to 12 running backs, two of which could be top 6, three of which could be top 8 in our go forward fantasy football running back rooms and worlds. This is such a damn good crew. It's so good. Anything else? Rock out?
Is there any rookie running back that could get the Bijan treatment of his rookie year?
Of the four horsemen, the most likely to get Bijan his rookie year, I imagine I don't know. I mean, all three of Hampton, Hendy, and Harvey are sharing work, but it's not dangerous the way they're sharing it.
Yeah.
And the players behind them are not dangerous players. I think that there's a little bit more of a concern for Hendy than Harvey, but it's not that great. And then when you break it down, and whenever I break it down in a video and I start to really, sell the idea of not having too much concern and how to bake in the risk, I start convincing myself that there is no risk. I mean, he's drafted to be that guy that protects Drake May because he's the best pass protecting back in the entire draft class. And he might be right away one of the top 5 best blocking running backs, pass blocking running backs in the National Football League. And that right there puts him on the field on every third down. And if you think that the team's not going to have him rotating, so if he gets all the third down work, that's a third of the work, right? And then let's say he splits the other work, he's getting 2/3 of the work, like no matter what. And that volume will equal what you want him to max out at anyway. So there's almost like no scenario where he doesn't get fed the Breece Hall work when Breece Hall was Breece Hall that we all loved and know. There's no way he doesn't get Achane type work Achane's rookie year, where Achane was still one of the best running backs in the league. Like, that's the kind of work I think he can get. And the fact that he can catch and he's so explosive, Drake May's going to use him not only to protect him with the pass blocking, but the dump offs in the safety mechanism that will be Hendy for May and just all these dump off passes. He could be one of those guys that has 30, 40. I'm not saying this is how I envision him every week, but he's one of those guys that could get you 20 or 30 yards rushing. And it's not that he's not being run. He catches 100 yards. He receives 100 yards and a touch and 6 receptions and runs for 30. Like, that could be one of the very Kamara-like. But I don't know. I'd say that it's probably going to be more one of the other running backs that like Caleb Johnson's the most likely to get Bijan. Why? Because Arthur Smith's in Pittsburgh. And Warren's there, and Warren was anointed the starter. So the most likely Bijan player is going to be Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, he's the architect of the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the guy that did it. He's the guy that frustrated Fantasy Worlds, and we wanted him gone more than anything we've ever wanted in life. And now he's over in Pittsburgh, and people forget, they forgive, and now they want to draft Caleb all over the place. This is a guy I have a tough time drafting. I'd rather have Judkins. I'd rather go after another receiver. I can't draft this guy. Not enough. I mean, I draft him once in a while, and I'm not saying I love it. I do it because I feel like there's upside for sure, but I mean, there was upside for Bijan his rookie year, and he finished his RB9. but man, Arthur Smith tried to ruin him. Just tried to ruin him. All right, rock out. We'll see you tomorrow, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
Travis, what else you got? Anything else?
Yeah, just going back to the last caller and talking about Monty and Connor and all that. It's funny the way narratives get drawn up in fantasy, because if you look at Monty, James Conner, and Tony Pollard over the last 3 seasons, they've essentially produced at pretty much the same level, give or take. One has had a better year than the other or whatever. But those 3 players are looked at so differently in the landscape of fantasy. But when you look at yards and points and everything, they're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny how guys can get thrown into different buckets, because they might disappoint for half a season or let someone down in the playoffs and they just write them off, Because I love Monty, but like you said, I see him more as he's a safe RB3 flex, RB2 in a redraft league maybe.
I just can't believe how many people are still doubling down on the whole Monty. Is back off on expecting Gibbs to be the running back 1 or 2 again, because when Monty's in there, he's a very different player than when Monty's not in there. Like, this is just stupidity at its grandest scale. I mean, we had to deal with it all last year leading into 2024 when we said Gibbs will be what Gibbs ended up being. Gibbs ended up being running back 1 and not in half PPR. Maybe Barkley was 1 and Gibbs is like right behind him. Depends on the scoring. But in PPR, full PPR, he's running back 1. Gibbs is running back 1. We said he would be running back 1. He was running back 1. Not only do we have to deal with that whole garbage all off season, all in season. Hey, but Monty, he's just different. Monty played, what was it, 14, 15 games? What was it, 14 or 15? 14 games?
I think it was 14.
14 games. He played 14 games. I mean, let's stop with this. I mean, don't stop. Tell everybody. Tell everybody and their mother that Monty's going to hold Gibbs back, please. Then send him our direction and have him enter a best ball draft with us, and then we'll do the rest. But it's just like, it never fails. And I don't know if they're double down Donnies. I don't know if there are, what it is that drives people to continue to go down this really, really, really bad road. But they do. Double down Donnies, people that called Gibbs a liability with Monty there, and then it didn't work the way they wanted, and so now they're trying to say it again. And it's a bad look.
Yeah, and to Mark in the chat, like, I wasn't saying Pollard's better than Monty, but my point was just that the narratives that get formed around these guys, like, and it was more so talking about Connor, where people are really high on Connor, and Connor's solid. He's been good, and I think he had 1,500 total yards last year, which was really good. But he's got, like you said, he's older and he's got Benson breathing down his neck, but he still keeps this narrative of like, oh, there's no way he can go wrong this year.
breaking news. Jahmyr Gibbs is held back by Monty. Again, I know Gibbs finished his running back 1, but hear me out. Okay? When Monty was in the game, Gibbs was not as good. You gotta cherry pick the best you can. Not consider that they just started feeding Gibbs no matter what. Not to say that Gibbs didn't have, 4 touchdowns in the final game. Not that he hasn't impressed everybody. Let's cherry pick the best we can. I heard a rumor that Gibbs didn't get older this offseason. So he's not another year older. He's injury prone, but I believe he's not a year older. I believe they paused his age. And he'll be okay. But I just want to tell you, there's a lot of concerns about expecting Gibbs to be great. He was running back 1, but don't expect it. Do you think Caleb gets at least 250 touches? I mean, I would not bet on it. I'm not saying it can't happen. I think we're still here, right? We should still be here. We had a little bit of an internet connectivity issue, but we're back. Hopefully everything is still there. Okay, Cody, let me reference this question one more time. You said, will you trade away Nico, Chase Brown, and Benson, assuming this is a non-superflex? Okay. Sorry about the internet connectivity issue. I got 2 internet, so I just have to switch over. This is my first rodeo. Just takes a minute. Would I trade away Collins? I would take McBride and Lamb in a heartbeat. If this is a super flex and Danny Dimes now goes into your starting spot, then it changes it a lot. I don't know that I'm not still doing it. I probably would. Still do it. Travis, you can call back if you want, or if you're done, no problem. We're wrapping up here anyway. I would say non-super flex, do it. Smash it. You know, freaking McBride and Lamb is crazy. That's a great value. It's worth giving up all of that, I believe. Chase Brown's awesome. Nico Collins is awesome, but McBride and Lamb is crazy. If it's super flex, and maybe he said it was. Travis, do you know if this is a super flex question? Did Cody clarify?
He said 1 QB.
Okay. You got to smash this, right? I mean, Lamb, you're taking about arguably a round ahead of Nico. You could go at the 1-2 turn. Lamb, you could argue 1, 2, 3, or 4. And McBride is going, ahead of Chase Brown. So, you're getting.
You got to think you'll be able to handle your running back room. Otherwise, to get that.
Yeah. So great.
With McBride.
Yeah, Cody, I would definitely do that trade. Smash it. 1 QB, he said in a super chat. Thank you, Cody. Yeah. You're basically saying, I'll trade you a $20 bill for your $10 bill, but in compensation of that, I'm sorry, I'll trade you my $10 bill for your $20 bill. You're getting Lamb. But in compensation for that, I also want to give you a $5 bill for your $10 bill. So you're upgrading.
Etienne, Gibbs, and Tyron.
Yeah, that's a smash.
No-brainer. Collins has some injury worry with him.
Easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's easy, bro. That's the kind of stuff you got to be careful, though, because it can close down a league. They call that a league ender right there, that trade. All right, Cody, appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chats. All right, anything else, Travis?
No, I was just going to say, I just looked at it quick. Bijan's rookie year, he ended up with somewhere around 250 or 260 touches, and Algier ended up with over 200 himself. So, I would say 200 touches is probably safe for Caleb Johnson, but I'm not sure. You can expect 250 for sure, especially if Warren is the lead back, like you said, which we don't know.
Yeah. How many touches did Bijan have last year?
Yeah, he had a lot.
While you look that up, Bijan was one of the worst running backs of the elite running backs in long runs. He just didn't have long runs. They were like 7. I mean, he had good yards per carry, but they were never over 20.
37 and 38 were his two longest runs.
Yeah, 37, 30, like 37, 38. Never. But it's not because he's not capable of it. It's just been Arthur Smith setting him up for failure, putting him in bad spots, mixed with the fact that they had bad quarterback play that had stacked boxes constantly. So the stacked boxes made it to where he was just running up against brick walls. We don't even know what Bijan's capable of. He's scratching the surface, but I don't think he's as explosive or Achane in terms of getting those 20 plus yard runs, 30 plus yard runs. But we'll see a lot more of them, and it's going to make him a better player. What did Bijan have?
So he had 304 rushes and 61 catches, so 365 total touches.
Rushes and receptions. Okay, I'd probably say under. And he had how many touchdowns? It was 17.
Last year, total touchdowns.
Remembering correct?
15.
17 total or 15 total?
15 total. He had one receiving and 14 rushing.
Okay, sorry, 15. 15 TDs. I think under the command of Penix Jr., Bijan's going to have
more receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be that many more rushing attempts, but let's call it 315. No, or 310. I don't know that he has to have more. I don't think he's necessarily going to.
His yards per carry are going to go up.
Yeah, it's going to go through the roof. So what do you have yards per carry wise last year?
4.8.
4.8, which is still amazing, but let's call it 5.2. So 310 times 5.3. I'm feeling it. That's 16. Woo! That is so 310, 1643 rushing. Jeez, I don't know. I don't know if that's too much. That's crazy.
I like it.
We'll leave it. I don't know. Receptions, they're gonna throw to him more. I don't know. I mean, he might have 70 receptions. What was his yards per reception last year? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah. So he had 61 receptions, 431 yards, and that's 7.1 per reception.
Let's just give him that again. That's 497. I'm not saying he won't improve on that, and I'm going to say total touchdowns. Give him 17. I think that's why my mind's going there. So 16, and let's give him 16. I don't know about the attempts. Let's give him 1,600 yards flat. That is a crazy year. And let's give him 500 receiving. So 70 receptions, 500 receiving yards, 1,600 on the ground, 2,100 total yards, which is asinine. 2,100 total.
I think he's going for 2,000 total.
Yeah.
This coming season.
I mean, I might be off. Maybe it's 1,500 and they run him less and they just do a little more. That could be what it is. But that's running back one. I don't know. I mean, the problem is when we get to Gibbs, though. Do you have Gibbs' numbers in front of you real quick?
Yeah, I got them.
Let's go. What did Gibbs have last year? Read off everything. Yards, average, receptions, rushing TDs, receiving.
Okay, so he had 250 carries for 1412 on yards with 16 rushing TDs.
Jeez.
That was 5.6 yards per carry.
5.6. Okay.
Then receiving, he had 52 receptions for 517 yards with 4 receiving touchdowns, and he had 9.9 yards per reception.
Okay. Jeez, man. 20. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know this already. I do this for a living, but when you see it, it's just sometimes you need to just be reminded and slapped in the face with it.
Yeah.
So 14-12, pause. 14-12. Okay, so 250. Let's say that he gets 200. I think they're going to have to run a lot more. So let's call it 265 rushing. 5 point. Let's call it. I think because Ben Johnson's gone, I'm just trying to be a realist here. What if he does not average 5.6? Let's say he averages 5.2 a carry times 265. That's 1378. Gump, be quiet or I'm going to hang up on you right away. 278. So 1378. And this is going to be at 5 point, what did I say? 5.3 or 5.2? What did I just say?
5.2 is what you
5.2 a carry instead of 5.6.
Yep.
Rushing touchdowns. Let's give him 14 rushing TDs. Receptions, I think they do throw to him more. They're going to have to dump the ball off to him. I'm going to say, and he's just going to get better. I'm going to say 65 receptions for probably 550 or 540. Let's call it 545. And then we'll give him 3 TDs. So he's going to have 17 total touchdowns. And he's going to have exactly 1378 plus 545 is 1923. So 1920.
That's 6 yards less than last year total.
Yeah.
So you have him right there, same spot as last year.
But 3 TDs total less. That's being a little bit pessimistic of the Ben Johnson departure, and just expecting some stacked boxes, a little more than normal. Bijan's getting nothing but good news, and everything's opening up. Bijan doesn't have a single red flag, nothing but improvements. Penix Jr. in there, less stacked boxes. London's going to the moon. Everything's improved. Gibbs, there's going to be hiccups along the way. There's no way that this is a fantastic transition. There will be ups and downs. Not saying they don't figure it out and somehow crawl to a division win. I'm not saying that's possible, but it's gonna be a little bit different sledding. That's all I'm saying, and that could be at the cost of some stack boxes. And Bijan is going to perform better without stack boxes this year, to the tune of being 5.3 yards per carry last year to a 5.6, 5.7 yards per carry this year. Gibbs is going to still be amazing because he's so good, but he's going to go from 5.6 to maybe like 5 to 5.2, 5.3 maybe. More carries because they got to feed him because they're not throwing as much. Goff's not as good without Ben Johnson, and they throw to him a little more because they got to dump the ball off to him. That's going to be Goff's go-to play. And that's going to be how they try and mask what's going on with the transformation of Goff into a pumpkin. Gump, you're live.
Let's say I can hear Gump squirming in his chair.
Yeah, Gump's just losing it.
You know I am. It's my birthday. You got to do this to me?
Is it your birthday today? Is it your birthday?
Right now.
Happy birthday, Gump.
Happy birthday, Gump.
Travis, what was the vote? My birthday.
Happy birthday, Gump. God, this sucks. I gotta have to hang up on him. I already know I gotta hang up at some point on his birthday.
What I wanted to say is I think that the Ben Johnson thing that you're saying, there's nothing about that. And
give me one piece of evidence. I can give you evidence because Ben Johnson was amazing. I don't care about one play. You keep singing about how he made a mistake in the playoffs and he should have never called that play. He should have. Gump, we're talking fantasy football production here. We're not necessarily talking about wins and losses and a Super Bowl appearance. So keep in mind on your birthday, I'm not trying to yell at you on your birthday, but keep in mind that a lot comes down to production. No Ben Johnson, you're not upgrading the offense, bro. You're not. Let's stop with that.
Have you seen our roster? Have you really looked at our roster?
You lost, you lost your center. You lost your offensive coordinator, essentially. I mean, I don't know what you mean.
They didn't lose the beat. They drafted that kid.
Poor guy on his birthday. You're right, Gump. On your birthday. Yes, they're Super Bowl champ. You might as well just go straight to the.
I love it. Thank you, Smitty. Gee.
Just close your eyes, Gump. Ready?
All right. Okay.
Breaking.
Go ahead.
Close your eyes. Ready? Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Open your eyes. Breaking
All
news,
right.
breaking news. The Lions are just going to ball this year. I mean, getting rid of Ben Johnson was the best thing they could have done. Get this Morton character in here. We don't know what he's going to do, but he's probably going to do glorious things. And I think Goff is going to be elevated. They're going to throw the hell. J-Mo, who cares if he's the second or third target? 8,000 yards receiving, 45 touchdowns. This is the year. We don't even know how to use Hendon Hooker. What are we going to do? We're going to get trade calls after trade calls all year long. We're going to have to shut the phone line down at the stadium because teams will be calling hand over fist. Is Hooker available? Do you have a Hooker on staff? And we're going to end up saying no. Oh, sorry. All right, Gump, I got to go. Appreciate you. Happy birthday.
But you missed one more thing. Do we retire Barry Sanders number 20 and put it on Jahmyr Gibbs because he gets over 2,000 yards?
You have to have a conversation with Barry about that. All right, appreciate you, Gump. I don't want to hang up on you on your birthday. Later. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, Travis, anything else?
No, I think I'm good. That was a good exercise there, looking at the central numbers there. They should be close.
You know what it comes down to for me is that, and this is logic, whose situation's better, whose situation got a little maybe worse or at least bumpy, and then maybe it works out and they run the ball well. And I'm not saying anybody should be worried about Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm just saying 5.6 might go to 5.2 yards per carry. I'm just saying 20 touchdowns might go to 17. I'm just saying stack boxes might be in his way, and you see 2 or 3 or 4 carries a game that could be 10 or 15-yard runs in a situation that Ben Johnson's there, and they're going to end up being stuffed. And look, Barry Sanders, and I'm not saying Gibbs is Sanders, but Gibbs is he is the Sanders of this current population of players in the NFL right now. I mean, he is the shiftiest, quickest player in the league. Him and H-Man are just Keaton Mitchell maybe too. But this is a player that he gets the ball, and it's like you don't know what he's so fast and so quick, and his acceleration is like Sanders in some ways. And so how good was Sanders in the worst environments? The guy just would get surrounded by 5-6 guys. He'd pop out, run one downfield, 50, 60 yards to the end zone. So I'm not saying Gibbs falls apart, but when you're trying to choose between Bijan and Gibbs, one is in an amazing offense that's ascending. The other one, there's a lot of reasons why it could be at least a rocky road, at least initially, and maybe a different result than people want for 1 year as they get settled and they figure things out and they maybe move on from Morton, or Morton gets good. He turns into look, it's not like you can't have another great coordinator emerge, but there's a reason he's never been a coordinator before. He's been all kinds of, assistant, but it's not like this guy's been, he was over in, he was in Detroit. He's kind of a homegrown Detroit coach. He went over to Denver, and last year he was a part of Bo Nix's rise, and a lot of people like to cite, Smitty, you don't know you're talking about Morton was a big reason why Nix did well. Well, you show me the affidavit from Sean Payton that says that Morton's, I just left it all on Morton's plate, and he's the one that did this. He's the one that did all this. I don't know. You could bring me back to what's his face from Bieniemy over in KC. Oh yeah. Well, Mahomes was great. Bieniemy was offensive coordinator essentially, right? Does that make Bieniemy? Does Bieniemy now grow a tail? Does he just all of a sudden is he a magical man because he was the OC or he was involved? He wasn't even OC. He was like assistant, kind of like Morton was in a way. He was assistant to the offensive mind in Denver, and it's like everyone thinks he can grow a tail now. I don't know what Morton. I'm not saying Morton can't grow a tail.
I think a big factor too will be, and this is going to be a factor in Tampa as well, is how much of it can Goff kind of do on his own. You know, he knows the playbook. Can he execute all of this and keep things running? Because more will be on his shoulders without Ben Johnson and everything just running like a well-oiled machine.
The exact
So
same thing.
Bump in transition.
And the exact same thing for Baker. The question is, who do you trust to carry on? I trust Baker, touchdown maker, to carry on. Do you trust Goff to carry on like Baker? These are two exactly the same situations. High octane offenses, quarterbacks that got revived by their OC. The OC leaves. The quarterback has magnificent stats because of that offense and OC. Which one's going to survive? Will they both crumble?
Number one overall pick, right?
Yeah.
Both.
I mean, it's identical. It's freaking identical.
Amazing.
But not to say real quickly, not to say that Gibbs or Bijan should be even like millimeters apart. I'm just saying when it comes down to making a decision, which one's the more traditional running back, which one's going to get probably all this crazy inside the 10-yard line volume, traditional work, and is just as good as a receiver. Like, could actually be better because Penix Jr. is in there now. I mean, Bijan might be the best pass-catching running back in the National Football League this year. He might catch 80 balls. You know, that'll certainly adjust his rushing a little bit, but I just mean that's how good he is. He's one of the best. Remember this rookie year, it was nothing but one-handed touchdown grabs that Bijan was having in scrimmages and practice his rookie year. I don't remember even seeing a running back, a rushing touchdown. He had like 3 or 4 in a row in like a week or two span, if I remember correctly, where he's doing these one-handed reception touchdown grabs. And everyone's like, this guy's going to have 7,000 receiving yards as a rookie. And then they just didn't use him. I don't know.
Smith came along. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you saying it out loud kind of struck me, is that there are no red flags at all for Bijan.
Sure.
I mean, that's rare for almost any player in any year to have nothing but attention on his side.
Yeah, it's kind of like, in the way you got to look at it is like you're trying to run through a Costco or a Sam's Club that's just full of people. That's what Bijan's been dealing with 8-man fronts. These defenses have been like, Kirk Cousins, go ahead. Kirk Cousins didn't score a touchdown in 4 straight games before they benched him.
Throwing flop.
4 straight games. So when they're at the 10-yard line, the defense is going, stack the box, baby. And Bijan's getting these carries, and he's not getting them in. And we're all like, "What? I thought Bijan was a touchdown getter. What's going on here?" He's getting stacked against every time. Penix Jr. gets into the lineup, and Penix Jr. is not only threatening to thread the needle and knife the defense apart, but he has wheels. He can run. His 40 time was amazing. People think he's not a running quarterback. He just didn't run so he could protect himself because he couldn't afford to get hurt one more time. He got injured so many times in college, ACL, constant injuries, out for the season, that he had to play 2 straight college years and prove himself, and he did. He didn't get injured. He played 2 straight college years after just a laundry list of injuries the years prior. That's why he's older. He had to prove himself, and he did. Then he enters the NFL, and people say he's not a running quarterback. Well, you got a rude awakening, because this guy already did a pylon dive for a touchdown that was super impressive and ran an unbelievable 40 time. So Penix Jr. is at the 10-yard line. Blue 32, hatchback left, Bijan 7. That's what he says. Or at least that's what I like to imagine he says. And he takes that snap. The defense is backing off, and that Costco or Sam's Club full of people where Bijan's going to try and run through. He's just going to hit 3 or 4 or 5 people, right? Fall down. That's why he gets no big, long runs. Now Bijan, they clear the Costco or Sam's Club out. Only 50% of the people are allowed inside. How much easier is it to run through that building? That's what it's going to feel like to Bijan when he gets a carry in 2025. No red flags. Thinning out of the herd on defense. More room to run. This much room to run in every direction for him. He's going to have such a great year. And I love Gibbs. Again, Gibbs is next. But it's just what makes me lean.
Like that old show, Supermarket Sweep. Remember that? Run through the grocery stores. Remember that show?
Yeah. Yep. That's what it is.
But thank God they stuck to their guns. Raheem Morris and the GM and all that, and took Penix because they had the entire league like mocking him, and Arthur Blank signed Cousins, and they could have very easily said, "Well, no, we signed Cousins," and just sat back and took a skill player or something.
I mean, they got their two edge rushers in this draft. The edge rushers that everybody wanted
What a
to
draft.
take. They had
It was awesome.
the Falcons have one of the most understated drafts. The defense is going to be. That's another thing. We're talking about no red flags. The defense just got better, and the field position is going to be better. Like there's literally everything is on the up. The ticker's going up in every category for the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson. It's going to be unbelievable.
It worked so perfectly too because they were going to take Pierce Jr. originally until Walker fell into their lap, and Pierce Jr. I guess he has a little bit of some character questions, whatever, nothing huge, but so they were able to still get him and then get Walker, who from everything they say is like step on the field general, team leader, everything right away.
Yeah. So and that was pick 15.
They got their leader on defense. They got two pass rushers when they thought they were only going to get one.
Yep. Pierce Jr. at 26. They got Walker at 15. And that was what everybody said, not getting that edge rusher instead of Penix Jr. And just to defend them, they, signing Kirk Cousins when they didn't know if they would get Penix Jr., they didn't know what they were going to land. And people can make fun of that, but everybody wanted these quarterbacks. And if you remember, the Raiders were left at, what were the Raiders that year? Like 14 or 13 or whatever they were picking, 14, 15?
Yeah.
And it was like, they're going to get one of the quarterbacks, right? They're going to get one of the quarterbacks, right? They didn't know. No one knew. And I think people that assumed that quarterbacks wouldn't fly off the board, that Penix Jr. wasn't a top 10 pick. We told you in January he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And I never wavered on that one time, even though the whole world turned on me. Penix Jr., they didn't know. They weren't sure what was going to happen. So they signed Kirk Cousins. And it was... I don't want to say it's team friendly because it's $100 million total guaranteed, but it was a 2-year commitment really. And the way they looked at it is no matter what, they wanted to ease Penix Jr. in. So they may waste 1 year, which they are, and they did. And they could maybe trade him, which they could. They might. They probably won't. The market's not there. They didn't know that. So there's definitely, you could make fun of them all you want, but do you make fun of the Niners now that they have their boy Brock Purdy? And nobody's making fun of the Niners. They had Trey Lance, they screwed it up, they messed it up, and no one remembers it. If Shador works out, no one's going to talk about Deshaun Watson ever again. Like, sometimes you miss.
No, go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, sometimes you miss, and this is a protective measure. And Raheem Morris, when he was interviewed for the Falcons job, when Arthur Smith got it, because this is Raheem Morris' second time at this point trying to get this job, they asked him, what are you going to do at the quarterback position? And he said, I'm going to double up on it and have a contingency plan and have a succession plan, is what he called it, quote unquote succession plan. And then they were like, you're gonna double up at quarterback, huh? And they asked Arthur Smith the same question in the interviews, and he said, I'll worry about it later. And they went with Arthur Smith. They liked that idea better. So when Arthur Smith went back, when Raheem Morris went back to interview after they fired Arthur Smith, he sat down and reportedly said, you remember what I told you when I first interviewed for this job? That I would have a backup plan at QB, a succession plan, and get that in motion. And they're like, yes, and we want you to do that here now. And so it was in place. Everyone said Arthur Blank, and everybody was like so shocked that they took Penix Jr. This was very much in the mind of Raheem Morris before Arthur Smith ever got the job in Atlanta and then lost it. Just so people know. I will say that they crapped the bed on waiting as long as they did to put Penix Jr. in, but not everybody can be perfect. So let's hope Raheem Morris and the crew is going to ball out this year, because I like what they did, I like what they're going to do, and I like how it looked in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. So they took Penix at 8, and then Minnesota traded up to McCarthy at 10, and then Denver grabbed Bo Nix right before the Raiders. And the Raiders were left. I mean, they got Bowers, which is great, but they were left holding the bag. no QBs left.
All right. Anything else, Travis? I'm going to be out of here.
Nope. Appreciate it, Smitty. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Later, bro.
Bye.
I can't believe we landed the 4 horsemen in this draft. We drafted all 4 of these guys and got Mahomes and got Rashee Rice and got Travis Hunter. 4 horsemen executed beautifully on a live stream with the pressure on the line, able to pull it off. Here's the team right here. I can't believe it happened on the first try. We got Mahomes, Penix Jr., Cam Ward, Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson, Tootin, Rashard Smith, all rookie running back stable. Rice, Hunter, Igbuka, Jalen McMillan, Dante Thornton, likely my breakout Moonman extraordinaire that we just added, Kate Otten and Harold Fannin Jr. We'll talk about likely probably tomorrow on a separate stream, so you guys are lucky to be here tonight to witness the Moonman unveiling prematurely. We'll do more of a professional release of this information, but congratulations to Isaiah Likely.
The Moonman, dropping loads in outer space.
I'm going to get on over to the Patreon right now where you could as well have a continued conversation with me. Here is the link right here to the Patreon. I would love to see you guys over there. Let me drop that link right here. Boom, there it is. Join my Patreon. I'm going to type right now. You're going to hear what I'm going to say to everybody. I'm going to say, where is it at? Here it is. I'm going to say any late night post graveyard show topics. I'm in there chatting live right now for a cup of coffee, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Try it for 1 month. Try it for $10. See if you love the 24/7 accessibility. And it's not just me. I'm not trying to suggest that I'm going to sit here and answer everyone's question, but I'm trying to live on there as much as I can because those are my people. This is where our community really exists and lives outside of the live stream. So I cater it. I take care of it. You know, we make sure that we cover everything we can. I do early, information drops in there, bold prediction talk, stuff like that. Jump in. I'll be over there. Appreciate you all. Don't forget, if you want to draft tomorrow night with us, Underdog promo code Smitty. That link is pinned in the live chat, I believe still. I'll drop it one more time. If you don't sign up now, you're not going to probably get into the draft next time we do it. Appreciate you. I'll see you all tomorrow for at least a couple shows. We'll be live if news breaks. I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever big news breaks, and I'm also live most graveyard shifts at graveyard Eastern, midnight Eastern. I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night on top of all that. Live whenever news breaks, live midnight Eastern, and live Monday through Friday, the flagship show at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're live. I mean, when are we not live? Appreciate you all. Thank you to my super chatters and my mods. Cody, thank you for the double. Thank you, Travis, Space Ricky, Sick Nasty, Blackbeard, DeBolt, Vampy, Terry Roberts, Double A, Kenny Powers. I said Sick Nasty. I said Blackbeard. I said, yeah, I think I've covered it all. Did I miss a mod? Appreciate you all. See you on the Patreon right now. I'm on the Patreon right now, waiting to chat with you all. Here's the link to the Patreon one more time. I'm just waiting to chat. I'm just sitting here, doing it live. Deuces. Happy birthday, Gump. Gump says birthday blessings to all the days of Gimp. I think he means Gump. Gump is wishing himself a happy birthday in the chat. I don't know what he's saying. All right, see you later, everybody. Peace out.